This is Minds of Conspiracy. And I'm William Zarisky, private investigator. That 99 cents gets me a cup of coffee. Now let's take a look at the origin of this. In the book of Genesis 6:2, it says, "The sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives, all of which they chose." But it looks like the women didn't have a choice in this matter. Well, anyway, the Hebrew translation for sons of God is B'nai Elohim. The sons of God refers to a direct creation of God. To understand this, you've got to know that Adam and Eve, they were the son of God because they were a direct creation of God. Now, angels are also a direct creation of God. You and I are the sons and daughters of Adam. We become the sons of God when we receive Jesus Christ. Now, Luke 21:36, Jesus says, "Neither can they die anymore, for they are equal unto the angels, and are the children of God," being that the children of the resurrection. Another reference to sons of God is in Job 1:6. "Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them." Now there's good angels and there's fallen angels, the bad guys. And although not canon, there's also references made in the book of Enoch. And many scholars have taught a misconception that the sons of God are the lines of Seth. However, this view is debunked because the lines weren't separated until Genesis 11. And I don't want to get into a big study on that because that would take a lot of time. And you can check this out on your own. I encourage you, don't believe what I say. Go look it up for yourself. Do your own investigation, because I have. Now, if you look at Jude 6, this is where it gets interesting. With this UFO and alien conspiracy here. "And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation," remember that word, habitation, "he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day." So apparently, these sons of God, these fallen angels, somehow found a means to change their bodies. Now, think about that for a minute. And think back in history, because this is going to explain a lot. It's going to explain ancient drawings, Greek mythology, and the modern-day mysterious sightings of unusual creatures such as Bigfoot, the Chupacabra, and the gray aliens. Now, in Genesis 6:4, there were Nephilim in the earth in those days, and also after that, where, there it is again, the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and that they bare children to them. The same became mighty men, which were old men of renown. Now I came across this, the word Nephilim. The Lord showed me that years ago. And I had thought that was giants, because it is interpreted. It's very important that we read our King James Bibles. And some of these scriptures have been changed. And that's another conspiracy theory for another time, another podcast. But what I'm teaching you now is about these Nephilim. I didn't know what it was. And I thought it meant giants. And I actually one time thought maybe there could be a race of beings from another solar system, and then, of course, in my investigations and some of the other teaching by these scholars, debunked that. It's not true. These are lying demon spirits. Now, back in Genesis 6:4, it mentions here, "They became mighty men which were old." Now, I don't know if any of you have seen the movie Communion. It's about a true experience of an alien abduction. The actor in the movie is Christopher Walken, and there's a scene in that movie During this scene, he's abducted. He's aboard a craft or in hell. I don't know where they take him. We'll discuss that later. But the scene is where the abductee asks an alien-looking being. He says, "Are you old?" And I thought about that for a minute, and actually did a study. And coincidentally, there were an ancient people referred to by the occult, ironically, as the Old Ones. Now, even more interesting, in the 1940s, Scientologist L. Ron Hubbard and an occult group called the Babylonian Working tried to open up a porthole that was sealed by iniquity so that the Old Ones could enter into this world. And it was said to have been a successful event. Now during the 1940s, coincidentally, 1947 Roswell. So think, if they were successful in opening up a porthole, when it was said they were trying to get the Whore of Babylon to come in, but I don't want to get into that. My point is, something had happened to allow these things in. And Aleister Crowley was a part of this, saying that he got a being named Lamb to come in, who he drew a picture of him who looks just like the gray aliens of today, the big head, the almond eyes, the whole bit. And this is back in the 40s. And then we have the Roswell crash, and we have the Grenada Treaty, which I'll talk about here in a bit. Let's go back to our Bibles here. Now, as I said before, many Bibles use the term giants in place of the Nephilim. That's why it's important to read from the King James Version. Ironically, the Nephilim were giants. However, the word Nephilim means fallen ones. Now, these Nephilim were half celestial and half human, in that they were the offspring of these fallen angels. So this is what is portraying or masquerading as these aliens today, and having this new age spin on it. And we'll be discussing these abductions. Now, when these Nephilim died after the Great Flood, their disembodied spirits became demons. And it's interesting to know that in Matthew 24:37, it says, "But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." So I wonder what Jesus was hinting at us, all of the things, and that can be another study in itself. These scriptures and these interpretations that I'm teaching about right now can be very complicated and lengthy. And I'm trying to give you the meat of the investigation here. So we're looking at, Jesus kind of gives us a hint, the days of Noah compared to today's generation. This is significant because it does refer to this generation of today. And since the Nephilim were present during the pre-flood days and also after, so perhaps they are to make an appearance again here soon. But how's that possible? A body can be drowned and die in a flood, but a spirit is eternal. And when an animal is born, the spirit of that animal inhabits it. When a man is born, the spirit of a man inhabits the body of that man. But if a body is made that is half animal and half man, nor the spirit of animal or man inhabit that body. Also know that the angels were present during the creation. This means they had some knowledge. They had knowledge of this. But they're unable to create life as God can. So these rebellious, fallen angels and demons found a way to inhabit a body. And it's stated in Jude 6. And understand the word demon. Here's a definition of demon. It is an evil, supernatural being that is extremely diligent and skillful. These beings are more intelligent than we can ever imagine. They've even deceived our governments. And information has leaked out. During the time of President Eisenhower, a treaty was made between what they claim to be extraterrestrial beings and the United States government. And I believe that was called the Grenada Treaty. And we'll talk about that more again in my next podcast. Alien abductions, government conspiracies, and the fallen angel technology that we have. For more information, visit my website. It's willzpi.com. God bless. And tune in next time.